So thank you so much, audience, and I'm sure you've put in a lot of love and a lot of views to part one. The link to the part one is still given below in case you want to revisit. But now let's start with part two, wherein we talk a little bit more about market dynamics, funding, and VC confessions from Gabriele himself. So let's dive straight into it without much ado. So now you've spoken a lot about early stage investing. Let's move on. Say you set up you finalize on which project you want to invest in, and now it's the term sheet stage. We've seen a lot of changing narratives within the funding space. So initially, it used to be like a token only investment. Then it moved more towards safe plus token warrants. And now, probably in some of the areas such as fintech, it's moving more towards equity. So, what are the kind of structures that you would like to invest in? What do you think is a good mix? Is it like equity only, token only, or a mix of both?
Over time, we were investing in both. We were investing in tokens and equity, both same. Token warrant in case they didn't plan for a token, because we were looking at more broader scope. Now, for me, it's if the founder and the startup wants to launch a token, I prefer to invest in token only 100%, because it's more liquid. You can use that token as well in the market. You can do different things, especially when you're small. You want to grow faster and you want to be able to move quickly as well. That doesn't mean that you're dumping on the market, yeah, but you have liquid exposure to something that is not going to take 10 years, 15 years, right, in order to accrue some value on it. But if depends on the position that you have. If you really believe in the project that is going to take more time, you know that idea is great, but it's just too early, then the equity side is better, because then accrue you have a small percentage of a company that you know that is going to be a unicorn. You don't know, but you feel that it's going to be a unicorn, and that accrues value in that way. So in our deals right now, we didn't do any deals on Fast 50x right now. We did liquid, but not early stage, because we didn't find any. But we have some due diligence in process. Yeah, we are trying to do both. We're trying to do equity and tokens. But if this token play is strong, I prefer to go only token, and that's it. Yeah.
So, what do you think is one of the biggest mistake that founders make while negotiating a deal?
You can sense during the negotiation if they are willing to give out too much at the beginning, and you sense that there is some red flag there. If you don't know the value that you have, there is some red flag. Sometimes happen that we didn't invest at negotiation stage, because you saw that they were willing to give out too much, right? And that you didn't understand why. They came out with another proposal that was just like, what is this? Too good. Yeah, it's too good, and you don't want that amount of control as well. If you don't understand that, then you're gonna open different rounds, and you need to get other investors, and you need to dilute more of your company. You need to give more tokens to other people. That's a bad thing to show to the VC. You need to be very open, and I believe in that. There are a few players that they're not doing it, but I believe in that we're making a deal here, right? So you need to win, I need to win. Yeah. So if we find the right way to do it, then that's perfect.
So, do you have any negotiation horror stories that you would like to share without naming the projects?
On the negotiation side, I don't have any specific stories that come to mind. I have only one that comes to mind right now, but because it's more on it's a mistake on our side, I think. Yeah? Because we were rushing we had a deadline, and you know that, like, whenever you're doing things in rush, then you're gonna make some mistake. We had a deadline to respect that was due to our internal process, and so we rushed into the deal. And there was more FOMO driven. Yes, FOMO investing and FOMO driven. And but there were some clear red flags on the project. So at the end of the day, it was not a good investment. But tell me, I'm curious to understand, do you have any horror stories on negotiations?
No, I think I don't have yet, because again, like you mentioned, if a founder is willing to give out too much too soon, that means that he's either very desperate for money, or probably he doesn't believe in the idea as much, because if you believe in yourself at an early stage, the stage at which we invest in, you wouldn't want to give a lot of equity as well, right? Because if the company grows into something big and you have to go through series A, B, C, you need enough skin in the game to actually be motivated enough to go through that cycle.
Go through and give good deals to the other stages as well. You need to understand the whole life cycle of a project and how to turn it. That's why I'm saying second time founders, people that have been in the game before, they understand what it means.
Right.
Usually the first time founders, they don't. They believe in the idea, they go, and it's great, but they might make some mistakes that will hurt them and will hurt the company in the future. So I mean,
And I think at some point, having a lot of stake does not make sense, because then the founders also keep coming back to you again and again for future funding. And because you are so invested into the company, money wise, equity wise, and time wise, you end up giving more. But then that really doesn't go anywhere, because if you have a lot of different VCs or angels coming together, investing in a particular project, you know that project is really worth something and people believe in it. So that's a bigger indicator of having a good project.
listen, sometimes the best VCs are the ones, and the one that make most money are the ones that are just getting into deals when they need to fight for it. There is a side on the VC space that nobody sees as a founder, right? Like I was not seeing that as well before entering the space. Sometimes there are a few deals in the market that make sense, and you're fighting to get into one of them because you know that one is going to be a good deal anyway, for the terms, because of the project, because of the stuff, because of the founders, because of many things. Those those usually are the best deals you can find. So sometimes the network that you have within your VC network, it's very important because if they believe in you as an investor as well, they will give you some allocation, especially at the beginning. They will give you some allocation on make sure that they raise with you as well in order to get you in the first couple of deals. That's how I started, by the way.
We often celebrate founders who raise a lot of capital. Most of them coming in the headlines saying, hey, we've raised 10 million at $100 million valuation. And those founders are actually very much celebrated. But at some point, don't you think that raising too much money too soon could actually be an hinder to success? Because the VCs who want an exit will actually put a lot of pressure on the founders to gain traction, to expand into different products, services, eventually, so that they can get an exit at a higher valuation than what they invested in.
It's a marketing law, right? Like the headlines will be big numbers, of course they will, but I so having runway in specific periods of time and the ability to be able to make deals is a good thing anyway, right? So if you have that runway, if you are able to do it without diluting too much, you should do it. What I'm saying is just be careful who you're doing that with, because if you catch the long-term investor, the one that really believes in the project, you're not going to have problems. But if you raise a lot of money from somebody that is not a good player in the market, they can cause a lot of troubles.
So, as the saying goes, that you should raise money when you are fundable and not when you actually need money. Because that's when you are fundable, lots of people will come to you, seeing how your project is performing over a period of time and invest in you.
100%, 100%. You should time it very right. You cannot raise while you're desperate. Gives a very wrong impression, and even if your project is valuable, gives the bad impression to the people, and you're gonna miss an opportunity. You need to raise when you don't need money, or when you really have a sense for what you want to do and it's expansion time. I believe as well that if you don't need money from VCs, don't get money from VCs. But this is not normal to understand. And being invested in means bringing in different people as well that will change your prospect and your idea of what the project is going to look like, right? So at least you need it and you want some mentorship with you. You need to think about it as your network, but you need to be open to that ideas as well, because they are part of your project. Willingly or not, they're part of it. So but if you don't want that and you're sure that this is going to happen and you're sure that this is going to work, just go your own way.
Or probably just get a couple of strategic advisors on board by giving them advisory equity if you actually want the mentorship rather than raising money if it's a sustainable business.
Correct. And sometimes in like most of the fund, like VC money is coming and funding comes when you're thinking big. So the money comes because you need to expand rapidly and you need to do it now. And because there is a clear opportunity in the market, you need to see that, you need to prove it with the numbers and so you need just that money more because that one is going to allow you to gain more territory faster. Needs to be a reason behind it. But most of the entrepreneurs that I see that they have some kind of a hobby idea, right? You saw them, I think you see them as well, especially when you do early stage. They don't need VC. They build a product, make some revenue out of it, grow slowly and steadily, keep 100% of it. If you want to build, then if you want to go bigger, then you need allies. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. Correct, with a network.
So we've always, there's a saying that goes, adversity brings opportunity. Similarly, when it's a bear market, the best of the startups are built because the grit, resilience, patience, and the execution of the founders is actually tested on the ground during the bear cycle. So, what do you think? Have you seen any projects that have actually spent the entire bear cycle building, but when the actual bull run came, that's when they reaped the benefits out of it?
Yeah, and that's how it should be. In our market, you need to understand the game that we're playing, and you know that there is going to be crypto market is driven. The most important thing in the crypto market is speculation. So the use case, the real use case that has product market fit in crypto is speculation. You need to know how to play the game. And you need to do it. Sometimes you need to do it. It's financial incentives. This is what we have. Blockchain is incentivization. This is what Sam and Victor told me back in our time. It's incentivization. So you need to be smart on the incentivization side, but you need to build. So you have a very tight framework where you can start playing because you're gonna have some money left in your bank account, in your treasury, and you need to play until you get to that moment and then starting to move very fast. Bull cycle, you need to play very fast. But they've been building for 3 years before. Then the bull cycle arrives, you're done. You go. Now it's moment for you to go in the market and start doing deals. Start reaping the benefits, start doing deals with other people, increment. There are going to be projects that are struggling, incorporate them. There are different things.
Like they say, Rome was not built in a day. And no success is an overnight success. It's the nights where you've not slept, all those tears and everything that goes with it to become an overnight success story. So
exactly, all the tears that they're not showing and to become an overnight success, man. And it takes a long time.
Yes,
Takes a long time, especially from the idea stage. You're gonna pivot a lot of time. The majority of the problems for me are coming from people. The people that you choose to work with, the people that you choose to incorporate to get with you. Now we're getting into a stage where people are less important, but they're still crucial. Yes. They're still the most important part of the project. You need the right people for the right distribution, for the right ideas, for the people that are going to be with you to push you to the right stage. At the end of the day, it's all about the people. It's all about the technology. The technology you can always find a way. If you time it properly, you can always find a way to pivot. You can always find a way to do it. That's why what I'm saying is you need to have very clear in your mind your brand and the narrative behind your startup and the narrative behind your story, because that one is the important piece, and the people that you're bringing with you. And if you have those, I believe in you. Then technology is going to come.
So, oftentimes I have found that founders come to the call without actually knowing whom they are pitching to. Example, XVC Tech, we are a blockchain specific VC. So, we expect the founders to actually do some kind of due diligence on the VC before coming to the call to make it more customized to what the VC would like to hear from them. So, what advice do you have for founders who are actually pitching to blockchain specific VCs like XVC Tech versus a normal tech VC?
This is pure sales 101. You need to understand your prospect before you're actually talking to them. We go back to the same concept we started the podcast with. It's you need to understand very well what they're investing, how they're investing in it, and why they're investing in it. You need to try to understand why some particular firms are investing in those and what they're looking for. So that's, if not, you're going to lose your time. I have had so many calls with people that are just, I don't know if you have the Telegram messages that are just copy paste. They see that you're in capital VC, capital, bam, message. Standard message, VC, pitch deck is coming, pitch deck is over there. I'm not even going to look at it. Sorry, I'm not even going to look at it. On the fundraising side, this is, for me, is this is the network, and this is why you need to know the market. This is because you know who is looking for what. At that point, if you know how to play the game, you know how to play the game. This is playing the game, just downloading a list and start pushing the message out to all of them.
Doesn't work.
Not gonna work. No, you need to create some kind of relationship before and try to understand what they want. It's always you're selling to me your idea, and I'm selling to you as I am the right person for you to help your project grow. Money is nothing. Money is nothing in this game. It's it's important, but the smart money, especially seed stage, pre-seed stage, smart money is what counts.
And not all VCs are the right VCs for you. So you need to find your fit. Who is actually the right one for you? Why are they right? And why is that VC going to really believe in your idea and help you grow 100x from now? So I think that's one thing that the founders should also know before pitching to any particular VC, that why are you a right fit?
If you look to, for example, we're region specific, right? So we want to invest in projects that are coming especially from, it's either India, Middle East, Indian, or the US, because we have the most amount of community and network there. So you want to grow as a community, as your network. You need to find the right. You cannot pitch it to an Asian VC just because, if your ecosystem is going to be in those regions, find the VCs in that particular region. They're going to help you, because it's a phone call away. Sometimes the deal are just, it's easier if you go. It's called top down, right? So you start from the top, and you know that that person is going to do it anyway because he trusts you, because you've done business with, has done business with you before.
And I think the regional VCs understand the macro environment of that particular region much well. As we go to different regions, the preferences, the user, like even games, right? The games that are played in Hong Kong are pretty different from the games played in Vietnam to India. The same games are actually modified for user preferences and what they would like to see and experience. So it's all about getting that right fit in to make sure that
it's a whole different market. There is a one specific product is going to work better in one specific market. Not only for the first mover advantage or for a better branding, but because you understand people. This is the story of Dubai, by the way. Yeah, like they were. I had the privilege to talk to one of them, to one of the Dubai tourism heads, and he was explaining to me what they did, because Dubai is a brand, right? What they did in order to grow this city so much in such a short period of time, and everything is calculated. They know exactly, they know the words that specific regions are using to describe specific feelings, right? So they know very well how to move in the different countries, in the different region, because they understand their persona very well.
it's like knowing your customer, and then Dubai as a product is actually customized to each region specifically, catering to them. It's a classic example of how founders should actually position their projects. It's really very insightful because you brought it up, because I think Dubai is one of the best examples of how, of a product, of marketing, of getting people traction and leadership as well.
And the words that they're using, and 100%, it's a product.
You feel it's your own, as if you're living in your own country, right? So they actually make sure that you're just so comfortable that you would want to make the shift to Habibi come to
Habibi, come to Dubai. This is the level of understanding that you need to have of your customer, of your persona.
So yeah, I think this is going to be one of the highlights of the podcast, and I'm going to create a nice shot of it so to publish on LinkedIn.
Good.
Because what you just said makes so much more sense now, and it's something that summed up everything that we've been talking about since the last few minutes. So
It's all about the persona, but the other highlights should be about persona. That's
completely, 100%.
describing the persona and the words that they use.
So now we are going to get more into the fun segment called VC Confessions, which is going to be like a rapid fire round. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and you need to actually admit whether you're guilty or not of doing that particular thing. So are you ready for it?
I am ready.
So we see a lot of trends coming up like DeFi, and AI. A lot of these trends coming up. What is one unconventional niche that you think the people are missing out on?
Well, I don't know if you didn't put it there, but it's stable coins. I think are going to be fundamental this year.
So founders DMing you on Twitter, X, Telegram, yay or nay?
Needs to be very, very funny. I think that needs to be something very unique. Catchy, unique, and you need to try to go out of the crowd, but usually, nay.
So all the founders who want to pitch to Gabriele, just make sure you have something really very eye-catchy to make sure it catches Gabriel's eyes for him to actually take some interest in you.
Correct, or something, and you need to be. There is a whole. You need to showcase that you've been following what I do, what I did for a long time, and then you message at that point because you need something at that particular point that I can solve.
Right.
But the standard message, LinkedIn message, as soon as I see that.
So if you were not a VC, what is one unrelated job or say an entrepreneurship thing that you would do? Something not related to Web3 at all.
You know what, like one thing that I really want to do in my life regardless is going to be music. Some kind of related music.
We have similar interests.
It's either on the DJ side or guitar and voice or stuff
So
like
I
that.
assume you go to all these crypto conferences which have a beach party and a disco night. That's where the founders can probably find you because it vibes with your music, passion for music.
Usually I try to keep the two things very separate, right? But I don't like those kind of like the crypto parties with. There's only one that I love that I think it's a great idea just because the name is fantastic. Rave?
Yeah.
That's great.
AI generated pitch decks. Hate them, love them, or just burn them?
Something in between, like always. I think it's not burn them, not hate them, because what matters is not the pitch deck, is the idea and how you approach, as always. So if then the pitch deck needs to be properly done anyway. But if you're using AI tools, of course, I mean, this is going to be the future, right?
I mean, AI is something you love, hate, but you can't ignore because it's here to stay. It's technology. It's not like a narrative that's just going to die down in a couple of cycles, but it's just going to be there.
Of course. And listen, those are operations. Like, this is operations that you can automate. So if you can do it, automate it. If you can automate it, use it. Just automate it. Don't lose time. There are more important things, like going and find those connections. That it requires time. It's a full-time job.
Do VCs ever get FOMO for a deal?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And what is the most memorable FOMO-driven deal that you've ever done?
I cannot name the project, but it was the one that it was on.
Which did not do very well.
Yes.
So maybe hype projects are useful, but not all the time because it doesn't yield those results.
Mostly very like FOMO, especially FOMO-driven decisions are not good, and no, in any case.
So walk us through your negotiation strategy. What kind of a person are you? Do you like to play like the cool VC, or when you are at the table, you are like, really, this is what I need?
Once you reach the point where you're sitting at the table negotiating, you know already that you want to invest, right? So my style is not, it's open heart. I tell you what I think of your project. It needs to be very, very, very straightforward, and because I respect people that are straightforward with me, and I'm going to be very fair to anybody that is straightforward, because I need to see what they have. So it's a straightforward negotiation. This is what I need. This is what you need. We find a way in the middle.
So your vibe at the deal table is pretty balanced.
Very balanced, yeah. Very straightforward and balanced. I hate to be, and there's so many sharks, so I hate to be one of them. Sometimes you need to understand because there are things that make or break your fund as well, right? So it's but straightforward, honesty is the most important thing in business for sure.
So let's say you had a magic wand and there is one narrative that you would magically accelerate. What would that be?
Stablecoins, because this is something that we need, that I need now. All of us, if we can have one only coin that is going to be used as payment railway for everything. Oh my God, that would be great, right? This is something that I look forward to seeing, and I think it's going to take so much time. So if I could accelerate that one,
Perfect.
yeah, because the AI narrative, for example, is going to be accelerated by itself. Every week there is something going on. Like it's not on the crypto AI side, on the traditional AI side. On the crypto AI, they were moving a little slow, but I know a few projects. The one is Fetch that just released the LLM. The other ones are different ones. It's they have a lot of good things coming on. I know a couple of very good projects when I release one.
So let's say the magic wand could grant one more wish of just vanishing one narrative from the market completely. What would that narrative be?
Vanishing one narrative from the market. Listen, I think all the narrative are decent. Well, the ones that I hear are the good ones now. If I could vanish one, I'm sorry, it's probably already vanished from the market, but meme coins are just.
I think it's already vanished from the market in the last couple of months. Yeah.
There is interesting side of it, but the whole narrative as it went as a bull.
The good part is it gets a lot of community together, which is something that is really good about it. But then, yes, the pump and the dump and a 12-year-old buying a crazy Rolex watch filled with diamonds in 5 minutes of meme coin launch is crazy.
It's not going to do anything to your life in any case. So that one is a dangerous narrative that it could have been something very interesting to discover, but plays too much on the psychological or human side, and that quick casino, there is even more casino than what crypto is. There is already very risky, disappearing. And I'm sorry to a lot of my friends that are investing in because sorry to all of them.
One piece of advice that VCs give, which you kind of disagree with.
We talked about it before, is the traction above all. Especially before investing, all the you need to have a showcase a lot of numbers. I don't think is the case. Numbers are coming if you catch them at the right stage.
We always see founders are pitching VCs, but have you ever had a moment where you had to pitch to the founders that, listen, I'm really interested. I believe in your product and I want to invest in you. Please take my check.
I did not as 50x, not yet. OV, I saw a couple of them, but I haven't had the privilege of seeing that right now.
That would be a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, but I know a lot of stories like that, but I haven't been part of any of it.
And what's your Bitcoin prediction by the end of the bull run?
Come on, not financial advice, but I think I'm gonna stay safely on 150 to 100K range.
That's a good conservative estimate.
Conservative, but we could go higher. We could go higher depending on macro structure.
Okay, perfect, Gabriel. So fantastic insights from you. And I think it's been more of a fun conversation rather than just feeling that we're recording a podcast here. And I'm sure all the entire audience is going to be like really laughing along while seeing the podcast and having a really good time. So it was amazing to have you here. And before we let you go, is there any one piece of advice or anything do you want to say to the founders in general? Your 2 cents about investing or your 2 cents about just evaluating a project?
To founders, I would say, especially in the crypto space where it's a very technical audience, start creating your network as soon as possible, because that's going to help you out immensely in many places, in anywhere, right? Don't wait until you need to fundraise and then to go out. Try to go it slowly and build your network slowly, because those are the people, and the more people you know, the faster you're going to grow. Not because they're going to be easier for any kind of magic, but because you know who to call and what problems they're solving. So you know how to deal with them as well. And it's easier if they trust you and not if you're coming as the first instance. It's very difficult that I will invest in a project that when I just met them, right? It's going to take some time. I need to understand you. I need to understand what is behind your intentions, and that takes time. That takes a lot of time. It's human to human. That one won't change with AI.
And I think crypto as an industry actually gives you endless possibilities to network with so many conferences, major conferences happening everywhere from east to west. Like during the week of Token in Dubai, we have 200 side events. So there is endless possibilities to network.
Only XDC has 200 side events, by the way. The
So one day. So thank you so much, Gabriel, for gracing the chair and sharing your valuable insights. And for everyone, the links to 50x Capital will be given in the captions. Do follow Gabriel on social media. His socials will also be put down for you to follow. And share, like, and subscribe if you've had a fun time listening to this podcast. I definitely did. I had a hell of a time recording this podcast. So thank you. And until next time, keep building, keep innovating. See you in the next episode.